All right, so I am just now getting back from a flight from MQI, Kilo Michael, Quebec, India, MQI, and that is Dare County, North Carolina, Manteo. Others would know it by that. And the flight there was pretty good, uneventful, but on the way back, I was definitely flying. I want to say probably beyond my skills, especially coming in here. And I want to say somebody cut me off in a traffic pattern. I was on a long base. I called that base. I'm there. He cut in front of me and did a short final power off. I'm like, all right, and I didn't have him in sight, so I had to turn around, but then there was other people in the traffic and then make my way back into the traffic pattern. This is not a very busy airport. Beautiful plane. He was actually carrying a banner. And his landing is looking way better than mine did. I probably should have came in with more power on my landing. Probably what it is, because he's doing a full stop. Let me put my coordinates for home. KPVG.
Dare County traffic stop 065, clear the active Alpha back to the American Secretary.
Talking like that. Blurred the last part of it. No one knows what was said right there. Dare County 4293 Juliet taking off runway 35, Dare County. We got fuel pump on. We're good. All right. Run that up. Got pressures, we got everything. We're good. We're taking off. Always the best part, taking off. We are up. You know, a lot of people like to go to Caribbean countries and things like that to vacation because they like that picturesque view. We have those places right here in America. I mean, look at this. Just this view is just amazing. Water all around. The trees, the grass, it's just beautiful. America has some beautiful places. Our obstacle, first notch of flaps down, and second notch of flaps down. Go to 4,500. Dare County 4293 Juliet, leaving pattern, headed towards the northwest, Dare County. And we are clearly over the water. Let's get this altitude going up, up, up. In her out just a little bit, but we want to keep that climb going. I always get those butterflies, you know, when it's a rough, windy, you know, down low, when it's a little windy down low. Get those butterflies in the stomach. But once I get up in the air, I'm just fine. Definitely have to respect the plane and the wind.
Under traffic, sky 5542, Downwind 31, 30.
We're flying in more of a headwind right now. Buzz flight back is going to be slightly slower than coming, so get across this land as quick as possible. Or to the land as quick as possible. Come over this water. Well, one thing I was given was a flotation device because I was going to be flying over the water. So if something did happen, lost the engine, I had to go into the water, you know, let's glide, all that,
traffic on
strap this on, inflate it.
10 miles to the east, landing runway 31 Williamsburg.
Pretty cool. Safety first, right? Let's get back on course. A few more 100 feet to go.
Beaufort 612 Papa Alpha, coming from the east, across midfield downwind for landing 26.
All right, we've hit 4,500. Level out here. Back a little bit there. There we go. Perfect. Ground speed is not that fast. 7 over the ground. 7 knots. Yeah, that's 67 knots over the ground. I had about a 27, 28 knot headwind on my way back to KPVG. So it was kind of slow moving versus on my way to MQI, Dare County, much faster. Tailwind, 27 knot, 28 knot tailwind, and it was smooth. This flight back was probably one of the roughest flights that I've ever experienced.
Stafford traffic, speed 14.
Hampton Roads traffic, Cessna crosswind 28 Hampton.
See what's downwind, Stafford.
And because of the rough flying experience, there were a lot of lessons that I learned on this flight. Partially because of the weather, but partially because of some traffic pattern stuff once I get back to the airport. So be sure to stay tuned. There are some really good lessons learned here. And if you're new to flying, hopefully you can learn these lessons from this video as well.
Hampton Roads Twin Cessna's left base 28 for a full stop. You got time, sir? Hampton Roads.
Here's Elizabeth City. You know, just continue to watch. I would love to get everybody's feedback as to what you think I should have done in this situation. I learned a lot from it just by watching it back. I learned how your mind can play tricks on you, how you think you thought one thing, but it was actually something else. Having video footage and being able to go back to see really enlightened you, because I was blaming one plane when it was another plane. Just a lot going on. Just stay tuned for it. And really get down in those comments. Give me some feedback. It's a great learning lesson for me and for others as well.
Hampton Roads traffic, November 5 Uniform Zulu, final runway 28, Hampton Roads traffic.
Ground speeds have picked up to 82. There's my Currituck Airport. Elizabeth City is right over there. To the left, Currituck to the right.
Hampton Roads 8079 Fox is clear runway 28, partner to the west, switches. Hampton Roads traffic, 3 miles southwest of the field and number 45 for runway 28.
Now, aside from all the drama, I still believe North Carolina is one of the prettiest places to fly over. Just these farmlands, all the trees everywhere. It's an amazing place to fly over. It's right by the coast, at least this portion of North Carolina is. You just can't beat it. You know, you have Elizabeth City, you got Currituck County over here, and all the way to my left, you know, again, you have the Outer Banks, the Barrier Islands, and things like that. It's just an amazing place to be. If you ever get a chance, please go out and explore.
Hampton Roads traffic, 2 Bravo Victor, left downwind at runway 2, Hampton Roads.
There's that communication tower. Right, and there's the circular dome. That's what he was talking about. Okay, I did see that on the way. All right, cool. Hampton Roads traffic 4293 Juliet, about 8 miles out southwest for 8 Mile base for 28 Hampton Roads traffic.
Hampton Roads traffic, 2 Bravo Victor, left base runway 28, Hampton Roads.
So at this point is where we're starting to get into the beginning of all the dramatic stuff, at least dramatic for me. I'm about 10 to 8 miles out from Hampton Roads Executive Airport, and what you're gonna hear is me calling an 8 Mile base going in for runway 28. Roads traffic 4293 Juliet, base for runway 28 Hampton Roads traffic, suspended base.
Hampton Roads traffic, 2 Bravo Victor, left downwind, runway 28 Hampton Roads.
Okay, so you can understand exactly about how far I was away. This is an aerial photo, a picture of about how far I was away from the airport. And this is what I mean by I was on an extended base. Now, through movie magic, we're going to cut and go further into the future. And I'm going to make another call where I'm about 2 miles out. And then we're going to go to where I'm on final.
How extensive of a base are we talking about?
I am 2 miles.
We got you. Alright, Hampton Roads traffic, 2 Bravo Victors to do a power off 180 for spacing.
So this is where my confusion comes into play. He's going to do a power off 180 for spacing, which means he's going to cut in front of me and I'm already on base. All right, Hampton Roads traffic 4293 Juliet, turning final for runway 28 Hampton Roads traffic.
Hampton Roads traffic, 22 Bravo Victor, short final 28, touch go.
Now, at the time of filming this, I really didn't understand what he was doing with that power off 180. I was under the impression that he was on the upwind and then he was gonna kind of do like that impossible turn, you know, kind of cut the throttle and then come back around and land back on runway, which would have been runway 10. But that wasn't the case. I was later informed that essentially he was going to cut it off on a downwind, come in, but that was going to cut me off. Either way, I didn't have a visual on that airplane, and I had to get out of there because if he's cutting in front of me, either way, I can't land. So I had to figure something out. And I don't think I made the right decision at this point, given the circumstances. I could have did a lot better than what I did.
Short final, I do not have traffic. I will 180 from here.
Go. Super Victor's departing runway 28.
Okay, so what you just saw, you saw me coming down doing my extended base. I get all the way to where we would normally turn on base. I'm a little bit further out from there. I make my base turn. The other airplane, he makes his call probably around here somewhere, and then he does his power off 180. I can't see him though. He makes that call. So what you see me do next is I turn left. I'm about 700 feet off the ground at this point, kicking full throttle. I'm hauling around, gaining altitude to make it back and to join a traffic pattern. That's the part that I don't think I was so safe in. I probably should have done something different because that's the direction, that's downwind, and all that traffic was coming that direction. I probably should not have turned left. What I should have did was turn right, like you see in a picture. But what I was scared was that I was gonna get into Norfolk's airspace and didn't call, and there was so much going on at the time that I just didn't think about it. But I probably should have made a right turn instead of a left turn. And at this point, I'm extremely nervous because I know I have downwind traffic coming the same way that I'm going. My only saving grace was that I was at a much lower altitude than they were. What would you have done?
Hampton Roads Extra 28 here in form, about 3 miles southeast, set up the overhead runway 28 Hampton Roads.
What you're seeing is the face of someone who is extremely worried and being extremely cautious. I mean, I am searching for traffic all over the place because I know they're heading in my direction and they're above me.
Hampton Roads traffic, 2 Bravo Victor, turning left crosswind, runway 28, Hampton Roads.
Traffic, extra 28 Sierra uniform is 1 mile for the overhead runway 28. I got the crosswind traffic inside. I'm going to be turning inside you for a nice tight 360 to landing.
Now, for some reason, I thought it was the extra that cut me off. As soon as I landed, I contacted my CFI and told them the extra cut me off. It wasn't the extra. It was a different plane.
The overhead brake right in front of you.
But for some reason, you know, your mind plays tricks on you and those heightened states of emotional.
Yeah, we got you set.
And I'm glad I had the video for it to go back and review everything that happened.
There's traffic, extra 28 uniform, turn in short base final, runway 28 influence.
So at this point, I'm looking at traffic. I can see some of the traffic coming on downwind that's out there, and I'm just making my way back around. I'm actually heading in a direction towards Suffolk. Not getting quite all the way there, but I'm getting behind runway 10. and I'm gonna make my way back into the traffic pattern. Pretty much gonna join it once I hit altitude, and join back in on a 45 to downwind. And from that point, things go pretty smooth. Now, mind you, winds were gusting about 17 on this day, and for me, that's quite a bit. I was able to handle it, but given all that was going on, that just added an extra layer of stress to me. I mean, I'm getting shook up the whole time. The camera really, I don't think, does a good job of displaying the shakiness. You see a little bit in there, but when I was in that plane and in that heightened emotional state, everything just felt dramatic. It was extra. Everything was just blown out of proportion in my mind. And I'm just trying to keep it together to get that plane back on the ground. Hampton Roads traffic 4293 Juliet, entering a 45 downwind for runway 28. Hampton Roads traffic. Now, in my previous video, I know some of you have commented and said that you really haven't had any issues getting into the traffic pattern at KPVG, but lately I have. My Lawrenceville flight, well, not the Lawrenceville flight, my 150 solo, it was quite a bit to get in that traffic. I mean, there was probably about 4 planes in the pattern just doing touch and goes. And I had to fight. I circled in this area where I'm at now about twice just to get myself into the pattern, to get myself space. Coming back today, on this day, there was quite a few planes in the pattern on that day as well. And it's just been difficult to get in there, trying to get that room to kind of hopscotch yourself into the pattern. Hampton Roads traffic 4293 Juliet, downwind for runway 28. Hampton Roads traffic. At this part, I kind of start to relax. Once I get myself into an established traffic pattern, I'm comfortable. And mind you, I love being in a pattern. Like, once I get in a pattern, it feels like home. I know what I'm doing. But just trying to get into that pattern, that's always the problem.
Hampton Roads traffic, sorry, 2 Bravo Victor, extending crosswind for the downwind traffic. Hampton Roads.
Talking with my CFI, he says when you're IFR, he says a lot of the times you don't get into the pattern. You're doing a lot of straight ins. I guess that's when you go IFR, but I prefer that stability of the pattern. Work for this one. Hampton Roads traffic 4293 Juliet, turning base for runway 28. Because I have visual references. I know when I see those numbers, I'm a beam the numbers. I know I'm bringing down my RPMs. I know I'm bringing in my first notch of flaps. I know when I get about 45 degrees away from that, from the numbers, I know I'm going to start my turn to base. You know, if I'm deviating from that, then things get a little bit different. Like, this was the first time I tried an extended base and it just didn't work out well for me.
Traffic sorry, 2 Bravo Victor, extending downwind for traffic. Road.
And as you can hear, somebody's right on my tail. You know, they're right behind me in the traffic pattern. So it's pretty busy there.
Hampton Roads traffic, can I get a radio check?
Loud and clear.
Thank you. Hampton Roads traffic, 313 Romeo Romeo, taxiing from Hangar 5 to runway 28, Hampton Roads.
Hampton Roads traffic, final for runway 28, Hampton Roads traffic. At this point, things are clear. I don't see any other planes in the area. And it's like a breath of fresh air. Like, okay, I'm on final. I can finally do what I need to do and land. But I was very fast. And I did realize that I had to slow down. The adrenaline was rushing at this point. But I do make a pretty good landing. My center line, it kind of sucks. I need to do better with staying on center line. Yeah, we were coming in hot and fast.
Hampton Roads traffic, sorry, 2 Bravo Victor, left 8 runway 28, Hampton Roads.
I mean, look at this. Look at this. I am nowhere near that center line. It's almost like I think I'm a car and I'm trying to stay in my lane when I should be on that center line. Nowhere near it. I do get the nose straightened up and I do land, but I am nowhere near that center line. That's no good. It's one of those things that I have to work towards. I have check ride prep coming up, and I'm going to have to make sure I clean up a lot of these small little mistakes for when I take that check ride.
Hampton Roads traffic, 4293 Juliet, clear runway 28, Hampton Roads traffic.
But those are things that I'm going to work on. As of this video, I have 2 hours left. I just have to do my solo to a towered airport, get my 3 landings and 3 takeoffs, and then we go straight into prep.
Hampton Roads traffic, 4293 Juliet, taxiing back to the west ramp, Hampton Roads traffic.
And then once we finish check ride prep, I'll do my a mock oral with the head CFI, and schedule out a DPE and get to testing. And hopefully I'll be done before the end of December. That is the hope. I am hoping to be done and have my certificate before the end of December 2025. That's what I'm pushing for.
Well, we made it back to the ground. That was a little stressful. Can't lie about that one.
Hampton Roads traffic, Aero 4464 Tango, taxiing from the FBO to the run-up runway 28, Hampton Roads.
One thing I'll say is that, flying airplanes is a constant learning experience. I don't feel like you're ever going to know it all or even be remotely close. There's just so much to learn, so much to there's something to be said for experience. And that's the one thing right now that I'm lacking as a new student. But the more hours I get, the more experience I get. And those of you who post videos, you just don't know how invaluable what you're doing is. These videos that you guys post are just amazing. It gives us students an opportunity to learn from you all. And that's another reason why I post my videos, because we need that experience out there. That was a lot. That was a whole lot. Yeah, no, the winds here are gusting like crazy. I mean, you're on the way there, no problems. No problems whatsoever. On the way back, yeah, I was fighting the whole way through. And, it was a headwind, but I was getting pushed every which way on the way back. Going there, clean land, clean. Once you start coming down in altitude around 4,000 feet, it got real choppy. 3,000 feet, even choppier. And the lower and lower you got, the more choppy it got. And I was definitely at the limits of my skill for that landing. Pulled it off, got it done, but definitely scary. No one else to lean on but myself, but I did it. I made it back and I'm here. What I learned from the other landing that I did at Dare County, I came in too slow. And I was getting pushed around because of it. Little side loading, but I made it down. Here, I learned from that mistake. 2 notches of flaps and came in with a little bit more speed, and it was a lot easier to handle, but it was still quite a bit. So you live and you learn, and I know next time.